there's a will, there's a way. It's not a cliche. It's really not. Like if you can will it, it all starts in your mind. Okay. So your thoughts become your words become your actions, and your actions become your future. So if you're thinking negative thoughts, then you will manifest negative outcomes. That's just the way of it. There's no way to think negative thoughts about things, life, and have a positive outcome. It's not going to happen. So I surround myself with these people, and all the negative, criticizing people, including my mother and father. Now, not that they were negative and criticizing. They're like, Matt, it's never been done. This is impossible. You were just told by this guy, thousands, and nobody's done this.
Till now.
Come home and let us take care of you. Because like any parent would want to do to their kid. And I was like, no, I'm doing this. I'm going to struggle, and it's going to be hard, and I'm going to do it. And after 8 years of therapy every day, I was able to walk with forearm crutches, and walk with forearm crutches anywhere, bro. Anywhere. 8 years. 8 years. Wrap your nugget around that.
Right.
So I put my wheelchair away, and I'm using my forearm crutches and a walker everywhere I go. But for whatever, I can't get my speed up. I can't get my speed up to be cleared by my therapist to be out in public. And so the test I couldn't pass was, you would go to a light, an intersection, and I needed to cross the intersection in time for the light to change.
Okay.
And we would do this exercise over and over in front of the hospital right there on River Road, where there's a Maverick on the other side.
Yep.
And I would get stuck in the traffic heading south, or every time. And every time, people are honking their horns, giving me the thumbs up. Like,
you're good, man.
Right.
Wait.
Right. Yep. Do your thing. So you don't know who's watching. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who you're inspiring. You don't know who you're affecting in negative or a positive way. You just don't. So I don't try to compete with anybody except me. Because I could try to be you, right? You're better looking than me, so there I'm going to fail right there.
Not true.
So, or I could get you a wheelchair. You could try to be me, and you're going to fall short every time.
Sure.
You might get close, but you're going to fail at trying to be Matt Blanchard, and I'm going to fail at trying to be Derick. So why? I'm just trying to be a better version of myself today than yesterday. And today I'm doing that. So it's me versus me, and I'm going to fail, and we're supposed to fail.
Sure.
And I call it failing forward. So I will work on something, and I'll fail at that something. I will learn from that failure, and I will go again, and I will fail, and I will learn from that failure and tweak something and go again and fail again. Like, I fail constantly. I look forward to failure. I don't fear failing. I don't fear that anybody knows that I've failed. Like, everybody listening to this, I'm going to walk one day. Can I today? No, I can't. But I'm going to. I've done it once. I'll do it again. So I'm, see the arrogance come out in there a little bit?
I like it, though. There has to be a little arrogance, I think, to be confident. I think there has to be a little blind belief to be confident.
I like that, blind belief.
Yeah.
And sometimes the only one you got that believe in you is you.
Yeah. Well, I think it has to be at least you.
Yeah.
It could be other people too, but I think it has to be, maybe not even start with you, but it has to be you at some point.
Boy, I like that.
Well, I like your fall forward, dude. I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Or fail forward. I'm like, I like that.
Yeah, fail forward. Don't be afraid to fail. There's so many, and there's so many people who criticize you for failing, and they've never even gotten in the game.
Right.
But they're the first to say, "I told you so."
Right.
But they are anyway. Hey, those are the people that got to go.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because you haven't looked at the clock yet. But hey, so I surrounded myself with people, and we went to work, therapists, doctors, and I keep these ones in there. Scott Gillespie, I love you, Scott. Yeah, this guy. So my therapy session started out as an hour at a time. And I'd show up, and then he'd bump my therapy session to the very last hour of the day. And my therapy session would start from an hour, and then he'd on his own time go for another hour. So then it's 2. Bro, we got up to 5 hours every other day that this man spent with me to get me walking. Just because he believed, man. He believed. And Dr. Stephen Clark, this guy has saved my life more times than I care to say. Yeah, those 2 men right there, they're my those 2 men, my wife and my family. I can do anything with them.
That's your team,
bro. That's my freaking team, and we win, man. We win. So we go to therapy, and I'm walking with forearm crutches and doing good things, doing great things, and life's good. And my little girl, she was 12 at the time when I started going to therapy. And she was 8 years old. So 4 years into my therapy, I developed a dependence on pain medication. So I am not big with labels. Like, I only hold the labels that I believe true of myself. So I'm not an addict. I'm not a recovering addict. I went through addiction. So I'm not going to hold that label. I'm not depressed. I went through depression. So big difference between I'm depressed and I went through depression, or I'm going through depression. Don't wear a label you don't want to wear. So I developed this dependence on pain medication, and I was sent home with Oxycontin and lower tabs, and I didn't know what these drugs were, other than when I took them, I could push this broken body hard,
right,
and do impossible things. And after a year, that wasn't cutting it, so we bumped it to Oxy 30s, and then that wasn't cutting it, so we went to fentanyl, and then that wasn't cutting it, so we went to morphine. Now that wasn't cutting it, went back to Oxys. My lower tabs went from lower tabs to perks to Roxys. Like, I was on 390 milligrams a day.
Wow.
So the highest milligram that my Dr. Clark has ever seen. And I knew I had a problem. I was taking my medication for my emotional pain, not so much my physical pain.
Like, it got to that point.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like I'm all in on this. I'm all on it. Hey, God, I'm all in on this. Hey, everybody, I'm all in on this. And I'm doing everything I can. There's nothing left in the tank. Nothing. And that kept me sane too. Because at the end of every day, and I still wasn't walking, I could look myself in the mirror and say, there was no more to give today. And that kept me sane. Because your all is enough. Your best is enough.
Right.
I don't care who says it wasn't. You know. And if that was your best, and that's enough. That's enough. And so that kept me sane, but I would continue to take these meds, and I didn't like the fact I was in a wheelchair still after 8 years of therapy every doggone day. Sure, I had my forearm crutches, but when we went on vacations, I had to be in a chair. I hate being in a chair. So I started medicating and checking out. So my little girl, after therapy, so every morning I'd wake up, take my Oxy, take my Roxys, go to therapy, push my body hard, and then I would, after therapy, take my Roxys, take my Oxys, wait for them to sink in, just, And one morning, or one afternoon, my little girl said, "Hey, Mom, what are all those pills that Dad takes?" And she's 12. And I heard her. Now everybody, my family told me you got a problem. My friends had told me you got a problem. But my that little 12-year-old, I heard that. So I called up Dr. Clark, and I'm like, "Look, now I'm altered at this point, right? I've got my Roxys and Oxys in me. Hey, Dr. Clark, I've been taking these for emotional pain, And how many people are taking these damn things for emotional pain? And I'm not judging you. Hey, been there, done that. And it's calling him and telling him that was the scariest phone call I've ever made. Because I knew I wasn't going to get any more meds after this.